You there?
What's up, everybody?
Hey. Yeah, so I was looking at your, what was it? What's that user's name? The one who set up the chat?
Oh, thick shades.
Yeah, him. So he made a video response that supposedly he was being falsely accused of child exploitation.
Oh, actually, yeah, they actually, these people are insane. There's a literal group of atheists on Google Plus that have no choice, because none of them have a good argument, so they resort to attacking your children, to attack you or something. That's all it has to do with some type of weirdo perversion thing and they have to bring kids into it. They always got to talk about some kid and bring it into the argument. And one of them did some type of very offensive uh, type of artwork with a picture of Thick Shade's child. And then these people are so stupid. These people got so stupid because it just shows what a bunch of sickos they are that they accused Thick Shades of doing it. They just said, "Oh no, it's your own inside job. We don't. But this is a conspiracy."
Yeah, and
That's what,
that fake Christian demon bitch, what's her name? Fiona Robertson.
yeah,
She,
I was. Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, did you see? Could you believe that?
I can't believe that. Like I can't believe that she said that. No, she never said that. That she never accused him. But then later on, she admitted it.
I know that was so scary, and Rand was absolutely right. Every time, he was absolutely right. Those are the guys I was telling you about yesterday. What a coincidence! Um, and did you see how? Yeah, I mean, I didn't even want to mention her name, but it's too late now. We didn't really have a chance to really go into this, but I'm not going to mention anybody else's names. I'm only going to talk about the names that I support.
Yeah.
But too late now. Oh well, it's no problem. Water for ducks back, but. Um, that was insanity. Then this person's trying to say that, oh, this way, or there's this excuse. Oh, well, actually, I'm allowed to say that because I didn't do it though. They're just insane. Is that a coincidence? This is not a coincidence, Ice, that this person thinks they come from a monkey.
Nope. Of course not.
Every time, and they're proclaiming to be a Christian. I know, and that boggles my mind so bad. And you probably heard the things I said.
Yeah,
She can she
like
cannot
supposedly.
fight me on one thing. She could not say one thing relevant, and I've heard her just lie for a year straight. So instead of just even giving her the chance to reply, why would I? You know what I mean? All she ever does is lie, and she can't even have an argument, and she's not going to be able to back herself up as it is. So
Yeah.
the time for letting these reprobates even talk is done.
Yeah, exactly. Just like when she was brainwashing her people about pseudoscience when it comes to evolution. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, she even believes that cancer is part of evolution.
Oh, I bet because they're so desperate and stupid. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then I remember someone was talking about Leo frequency.
Oh yeah, she has to bring it up every time. That's why I said right. That's
Yeah.
again like remember how we talked about it last night. They say the exact same thing every time, and here we are, cats making cats.
Yep. And she thinks that she thinks that she's right because she thinks that just because she has a paper or a degree, that must mean that she must be right, and the others that criticize her must be wrong.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, it doesn't get any more clear than that. Like I said, because she has a piece of paper, because she has some sort of credentials that she holds to a high esteem, she thinks that she can go around and lie about it. Obviously her credentials are garbage. She has no credentials whatsoever, and she's
True.
just a liar. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Brad Campbell in the house?
You there?
He's probably getting set up right now. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah, and
but
the thing I want to add, I'm like, you don't need to be a biologist in order to argue with evolution. I mean, you don't need to be an astronomer to understand astronomy. You just need to understand the basics. That's pretty much it. Isn't that
right,
right?
right, exactly. I mean, and here's the other thing: I don't need to know how a car works to drive it.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is my obviously good friend Rand here, and he can tell you more about it. But I even use his analogy. She's wearing Satan's jersey, cheering for the Satanists and cheering for the atheists, and then she's saying she's a Christian. Every time we embarrass the atheist, she gets pissed at us and yells at real Christians. Every time the atheists mock or hate or literally just do vile, disgusting things against the Christians, she cheers. This is not a conspiracy. This is probably someone who's demonically possessed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking, Rand. I can't hear you right now. Maybe your mic's off. But Ice Age is 14 Aces as a young fellow that I just met recently, and he does some evolution stuff too, and obviously so. But yeah, good kid, and just starting to do some of these hangouts here and there.
Yeah. What's his name?
That's Rand Campbell, aka Victory Enforcer.
Rand Campbell. Hey, I had to give him some props for exposing her.
He must be having a mic issue, or he might be away from his computer right now. But yeah, bro. I mean, that's actually fascinating and interesting how you were able to catch that hangout. How much of that hangout did you see?
I'll say like 45 minutes or so, or maybe an hour.
So like you saw all like the last part of all the fireworks, pretty much, huh?
I'll say like 25% of the debate.
Yep. Okay, right on. And yeah, I mean, if you notice, there's no argument. I mean, these people are just psychotics. I mean, you had the other, I'm not even going to mention their name. You had the other jackass on there,
JD.
Yeah, you must be a mind reader. Yeah, you had that guy on there, and he can't have an argument. He couldn't find his zip spotlight. You know what I mean? The guy is absolutely insane. Never has anything to add to anything of any type or sort or kind of substance to an argument ever. All he does is go to insults. All he does is use ignorant terminology and ask really stupid questions and hide and bait and switch, just like all the denialists. It's just so unfortunate because they're literally, like I bring up Ken Hovind every time, because they'd rather support the pedophiles that put an innocent Christian in jail than to admit that a Christian shouldn't go to jail.
Yeah, and I heard him from the debate that that Ken Hovind deserved to be in jail because of structuring.
Yeah, that's why they already exonerated of him, and they couldn't find one piece of evidence structuring, like we said last night. You see, isn't that funny how I knew that they were going to say that? Structuring is something that you get caught doing, and it's illegal, and it's a way of money laundering, to hiding a certain amounts of money if you are doing things such as selling narcotics. So J.D. Kane must be assuming that Ken Hovind was some type of narcotics drug lord, I'm assuming.
But he couldn't prove it.
Right, he's absolutely insane, and that's why the IRS apologized. I mean, the IRS has said, yeah, sorry, Ken Hovind, you obviously didn't structure. Sorry for sending a SWAT team to your house and almost killing you and your wife because you didn't even break any laws, and that was proven again March 12th this year when they couldn't find him guilty of a single law, so they had to find him guilty of contempt of court. So the debate is over. There's a consensus now of people who live in reality, and when the sun rises, they get up out of bed. They don't eat babies. There's a difference. So people like J.D. Kane, who probably want to eat babies when he wakes up, for some reason don't even know that everybody in reality, including the IRS itself, has admitted that Ken Hovind didn't even break any laws. It's only the atheists and the deniers and the Satanists that, of course, have to just continue to ride the lies out as long as they can, because they have nothing but lies. That's all they are, is liars. So all they're going to do is continue just to use the same lies over and over again and accuse innocent Christians of not even breaking the law. Furthermore, how stupid is that to accuse somebody of a law that he can't even break? If you're doing it with your own money, you're not structuring anything. If I send Rand Campbell $25,000, I don't even have to have a contract. He doesn't even need a contract. He can do whatever he wants with that money. If it was a legal transaction, it was my money to him, that's not even structuring, let alone when you're running a church and people are sending you donations, because that's why it's called a church. And all these pathetically ridiculous hypocrites and Satanists and atheists, all they do is preach separation of church and state, except for this time, because now we want to get somebody for making money, even though the government has no right to even look at it, let alone touch it. So they're just complete hypocrites as usual, using every single fictitious reason to justify their criminal acts. That's all. What's up, Ray Campbell?
Hey, what up, man? What is going on? Just a second now. Hey, what's up? I don't know why I'm in here twice. I'm in here on my cell phone. Just a second. I'll turn this TV down.
Yeah, Ice Age's 14 Aces saw the fireworks today, and which is so interesting because I literally warned him about all this stuff last night, and the next day all this stuff literally just blew up. And Ice Ages he's basically a creationist, but not necessarily a Christian yet. Of course, he's probably going to be, but we have a lot to talk about with science and things like that. And he happened to see that whole fiasco today about those disgusting, perverted idiots attacking thick shades and then justifying it. So.
Yeah, I saw the debate. It was pretty intense.
I'm gonna make it
you can
simple.
definitely say that.
I want to make it simple for him here, just very simply. If you have any idea of what's going on in this world, like I'm talking about the craziness that people don't seem to have any sense to see, you will see why Jesus Christ had to come here. You'll see why God had to come here in the flesh in order to stop the insanity of what's happening here, or at least give us an opportunity to get out of what's going on here. This world is not what people think it is.
Right.
Right, what's so crazy about that?
And again, it does make sense.
It's crazy, bro. I mean, the government...
exactly. It's crazy.
Listen, bro, the government, like Obama, the Queen of England, all of these people, bro, they're Satanist guy. I could prove it to you. If you took some time to do some research with me, I could show you that these people are long-time Satanist guy. Yeah. And I don't care that people don't believe Satan exists. They do.
Yeah. So basically, this sounds a lot like Illuminati stuff.
It is, bro. It is. It's heavy, though. And it's so deep that some of the surface stuff that people think they know, it's way deeper than that, bro. The surface stuff is easy to slough off and go, whatever. But if you get even deeper than just the surface stuff, you will really see how absolutely serious this is. This world is not just a joke.
Yeah. And I agree.
It's not a joke. The world's not a joke.
I actually have an atheist friend, who doesn't believe in God, but he does believe in the Illuminati stuff.
Then he should know that those people that are in charge
corrupted things.
Yeah, man. And then if he believes that, then he should know that the people in charge are Satanists.
Yep.
And if they're Satanists, you got to ask yourself why. I mean, clearly these people know things we don't know. Clearly, these people are in the know. Clearly, these people have technology 50 years in advance from us. Clearly, they've got understandings and knowledge that we have no understanding of. And I'm telling you, if these people are Satanists, like I can prove to you these people are absolute Satanists, then they know Satan exists. And if Satan exists, then you better believe Christ does.
Yeah. How can you not believe in Satan without God?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. These people know, bro. And it comes all the way down to all of the false gods and all of the idols and all of the demonic entities that are involved with what's going on in this world. There are some serious demons, bro. Those 70 million demons that were cast out of heaven, the third of the angels, are here, and they're real. Aliens, when you hear people talk about aliens, those are demons. Those aren't like what you would think, just from another.
Yeah, I heard something. Yeah, I heard something about that. Like supposedly the UFOs, they're actually like demons.
They are demons. Yeah, they're demons, but they're demons and angels. There's also angels. There's a war going on out there, and it's over us. This war is over us, over the greatest creation God has ever created. Yeah. Humanity. When we are the greatest, the entire universe is sitting on the edge of its seat, waiting to see what happens with us.
Yeah,
we're trying to get home, bro.
And just like the Catholic Church, I'm guessing that's a Satan.
Yeah, bro, that's always been satanic. Yes, it's satanic. That path is narrow.
They even accept that evolution.
Yep. It's very narrow, the path back to God. It's not as simple as I believe in Jesus and now you're a Christian. It's not as simple as you go to church every Sunday and now you're going back to heaven. Jesus Christ said he's going to spit a lot of people in his mouth and say, I never knew you. So these people that call themselves Christians, these Catholics, they're involved in Satanism, bro. They don't even know it. They're so deceived. That's why Christ said on the cross when he died, forgive them, Father. They have no clue what they're doing.
Right.
We really don't, bro. We are so deceived. But when you wake up, when you get that wake up where you go, oh, and you start to follow the path, I'm telling you, it leads you in two different directions. It leads you to hell and it leads you to heaven. And the truth of the matter is that we got to get back to God. We got to put God right back first in our lives.
Yeah. Not misrepresent the Bible.
You know where I was sitting?
Fake Christians do it.
Yeah, man. The real Christians are the ones that are the most hated. Christ said they hated me first. So if you want to find the truth, look to the ones that are hated. Because they want to hate the truth, bro. True Satanists, true people that are involved in Satanism will hate Christianity. So look for the people that are being hated on YouTube and you will find the truth.
So you mean like when atheists mock, let's say, what's his name?
G-Man.
Well, G-Man, what else? Ray Comfort.
Ray Comfort. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Ken Hovind. These are the people that know the truth, bro. These are the people that know the truth, but the ones that are under attack, the ones that they go after the hardest. If the atheists surround themselves with people that say they're Christians, they're not Christians, bro. Atheists would never, ever surround themselves and love Christians. They hate God. Why would they love a Christian? So if they're loving a Christian, it's not a Christian, bro. And they know it.
Yeah.
Look for the ones that they hate, and you will find the truth. That's what Christ said. Christ said, or Paul said, if I tell you the truth, will I not become your enemy?
Right.
You know what I mean? If your wife was cheating on you, bro, and you loved and adored your wife, and I told you that your wife's cheating on you, would you not hate me for that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, bro. So when you tell people the truth, it hurts, man, because people don't want to know. They don't want their worlds destroyed. They don't want their mindsets.
Yeah, they just want to think that they're always right.
Yeah, they want to just live. They want to
live in this. They just want to live in this rabbit hole.
Yeah, man, for real, bro. And that's what we're living in. We're living in this deception, and God knows it. God allows it because this is something between him and Satan, and him and Lucifer. And I don't know what it is. I can't just tell you exactly what it is, but I can assure you, Satan loses.
Yep.
He loses. He loses this thing. He's not going to win us. I mean, the ones that are coming home to Christ, the ones that are coming home to heaven, to the kingdom of God, it's narrow, bro. It's a small handful of humans. But it's enough for God to know that he made a good creation.
Yep.
You see, if you grew an apple orchard, right?
Right.
And you had 100 trees with 100 apples on each tree, and 90 of those trees went bad, would you throw out the other 10 trees that were good fruit? Would you throw them out just because the other 90 went bad?
No.
No. Why
throw them out when you can still use them?
That's right, bro. Well, that's who we are. We are the ones that aren't rotten. We're the ones that are going to be able to survive, and that was shown in Noah's flood. In the flood, Noah, that 8-member family, was that 10% of trees that survived, that 10% of apples that were still usable. He could still use that last 8 human beings because they weren't rotten. Well, That's us. The ones that come to Christ are the ones that can still be used. And when we go to heaven, we are those surviving apples. We are those surviving fruit.
Right.
It's crazy. I mean, when you think about what's happening, this world is wrong, bro. There's wars happening. There's diseases. There's deception. There's Satanism. There's rape and murder. It's everywhere. And now homosexuality is becoming the flavor of the year.
Yeah. Actually, all of that has been happening since the time after Genesis.
That's right. It's been, but God eradicated it with Noah's flood, and we started over again. And now look at where we are. If God does not judge North America, if He does not judge America with a seriously hard hand, He owes Sodom and Gomorrah a serious apology. Because we are way worse now than before Noah's flood. If we are in the times of Noah, we make those times look like nothing with the abominations we have against God right now. We are horrific. And for anybody to look at what we're doing, and not see it as an abomination against our Creator, you're an idiot. Like, think about God as
Right.
your Father, and
Just
then I want you
like
to,
just like when atheists try to point out flaws against God.
yeah, bro.
Like for example, if God created us, why would there be deformed babies? I'm like, isn't it? I'm like, are you stupid or something? I mean, there are drugs out there that causes birth defects,
That's right.
and there are irresponsible mothers that drink. Wouldn't you think that it is our fault that is causing those birth defects and not
Amen,
God?
bro. Amen, bro. And the stuff that they're putting in the sky with chemtrails, and the stuff in the food with the GMOs, and the chemicals, and the pharmaceutical stuff, and all of the stuff in these Pepsis and these Coca-Cola products. People
Right.
get affected by this stuff differently. See, you might be able to drink.
Well, actually, I work in the hospital pharmacy, so I'm familiar with those kind of things.
There you go. There you go. So you're not stupid, obviously.
No,
Do you know who I am? Are you familiar with who I am?
no, it's actually my first time that I heard about you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm one of the most hated people in the community. I've been doing this a long time. My channel's been around a long time, although they've knocked it off a few times. They've flagged me off YouTube a few times, and I've had to come back. But I'm the guy that when I see these atheists mocking Christians or making fun of Christians or insulting, my brothers and sisters in the Lord, I'm the guy that goes in and slaps them around. I have no problem
Yeah,
getting very serious with these people.
just like you did to JD,
Yeah, bro.
exposing
Exactly.
him.
Yeah, man. I don't care. I listen. I know what you are. I know that you think that you're something you're not. I know you come up on YouTube. You're a little computer nerd that sits there and hides behind your computer all night and day. And if you went out into the real world, you would hope nobody looked you dead in your eyes because they would see what a scumbag you are. And then you come back on YouTube and you pretend like you're some kind of a tough guy insulting Christians. And I grab those guys by their faces. I have no time for them, bro.
Yeah,
I hate people that are fake. I'm the kind of guy. I've been to jail. My mother killed my father when I was 4 years old in front of me. She got acquitted of the first murder. Met a guy that looked identical to my father and killed him too. I ended up getting raised in an orphanage where I was abused and beaten while my mother did a life sentence. I ended up on the streets at a very young age and in and out of jail most of my life with drug addiction, and got right with God about 4 years ago.
yeah.
And
Sorry to hear that. Sounds pretty
no,
tough.
no, man, no, bro, that's good stuff. I mean, God bruises those He uses the most. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
yeah,
get you.
bro. I mean, so you got some bruises, man. That could be used. Would you want a warrior that ain't never been in a fight in his life?
Can you repeat the question?
Would you want a warrior that's never been in a fight in his life?
In a fight?
Yeah, yeah. Let's say that you had to go deal with a couple of guys that wanted to beat you up. Would,
Uh-huh.
would you would you call a guy you knew that's never been in a fight in his life, or would you call the guy that's been in 1,000 fights?
That wouldn't be on a fight.
I'd call a guy that knows how to fight.
Oh, that knows how to fight.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm calling to war. You know what I mean? So God calls to
But by
war.
fight, do you mean like physical, or you mean
Yeah,
like,
yeah, physical fight. Like, let's say that down the street you had two guys that wanted to beat you up,
yeah,
and you had four friends that you could call to come help you. Three of them have never been in a fight in their life. One of them is a boxer and been on the streets and fought most of his life. Who are you going to call?
the fighter?
Yeah, bro. Well, that's what God does. God calls you for the position you're best in, what He can use you the most for. So if you're
Right.
if you're a fighter, He's going to call you to the battle. If you're
Yep.
smart with education, He's going to call you there. If you're smart with evolution and being a creationist, He's going to call you there. If you're scripturally sound, He's going to call you there.
Right.
He calls you there.
Just like when God called, what's his name, David, King David,
That's
to
right.
fight for his people.
Amen, bro. Amen, bro. He's going to call to the battle those for that position. And if you feel like you're being called at any level, bro, honestly, because you seem like you're really close to God. If I was you, I would be real serious about just opening up to God and asking Him to reveal Himself, that you would be able to come through Christ to Him and know that you're a member of the body of Christ, because we're in some serious times, bro. I predict that over the next year, starting in the fall, and then the next year, possibly two, this world is not going to look like it does today.
Nope. Everything changes.
Yeah,
You
man.
can pretty tell.
And it's changing quickly, and it's not going to be a good change.
Nope. And it's turning for the worse, not for the good.
Amen. Amen.
Right.
Amen, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. So yeah, guy, just open up to God, bro. Just ask for forgiveness and let Christ know that you understand and you know the importance of Christ and ask God to reveal Himself. Because otherwise, you don't want to be on that big boat, bro. Get on that little boat. That big boat's full of all these scumbags.
Right.
They're scumbags. I don't care what anybody says. They're scumbags, bro. These aren't good people, man. These are not people that if you knew their hearts, you would never choose them in your life.
Right.
If you knew their hearts, their hearts are rotten, bro.
Hmm. I just like want to add something.
Hmm.
You know, what is it? You know how MG mentioned to you that I'm a Gnostic?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I do believe in God, but I'm not like saying like what's his nature. You know how you say like God is the one from the Bible?
Hmm.
Yeah. I think a God. I do think there was a God out there that created us,
Hmm.
but I prefer to, how can I put it, keep it neutral about his identity.
Right, right,
You know
right.
what I
So
mean?
no, no,
But I do I'm in when you say that, when people talk shit against God.
yeah,
That,
but
that that bothers me too. When, especially when you throw false accusations against him.
mhm, because they
Yeah.
don't know Him. They've suppressed the truth of Him.
Right.
In Romans chapter 1 verse 28, it states very clearly that there are reprobate minds that would suppress the truth of God, and God allowed them to do that.
Yep.
Now imagine I had the ability. What's your favorite sport?
Let's see. Basketball.
Okay. So let's say that you said to me that you did not want to know, like, or be a part of basketball ever again in life. And I said to you, are you sure? And you were like, yes, I'm done with basketball. I don't want to even know it exists. I want nothing to do with it. I want no knowledge of it. I want no liking for it, no love for the game. I want it completely removed from me. And I had the ability to do that to you, that I could just snap my fingers and all of a sudden you'd never even heard of that game before. That's what the atheists did about God. They
Yeah.
didn't want to know God, bro.
They
And
just
God went,
they
are you
just
sure?
they're just under denial.
Yeah, God said, are you sure you don't want to know me? And they're like, yeah. And he snapped his fingers, bro, and that was it. They don't know him now. They do, but it's so deep in their subconscious that they can't dig it out.
Right.
And it's horrible for them, but this is what they want. But how do these people not want God and then spend all this time on the internet arguing against God?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I really don't understand those people. They don't. I don't see how they could be in that position.
It's stupid, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I left my wife a year ago. You know that when I drove out of that driveway, I have not looked back. I have not talked to her. I've not texted her. I've not emailed her. I've not called her. I've left. Why would I leave my woman and then go stand across the street arguing about her with the neighbors? Why would I care? I'm done. I'm done. I don't want you in my life. I'm done. These people say they don't want God in the world. They don't want God in their lives. They've removed God from their lives. But they spend all this time
Arguing against him.
standing with God's children, arguing about God.
Yeah. I'm like, if they don't believe in God, why are they arguing against God in the first place?
Yeah, bro. It's like, what would the purpose be? Well, what's your purpose? You know the purpose is? You know God exists. And you're trying to mock him.
Yeah. Just like when what's his name? Neil deGrasse, he was making fun of intelligent design when he was referring to the to bad things.
Right.
Like deformation, that the universe is trying to kill us,
Yeah.
those kind of
But,
things.
yeah, but these people are sick, bro. And I make sure they know they're sick. I tell them to their faces what and who they are.
Yep.
I tell them right to their faces because they don't scare me, bro. They're demons. And I got
Yep.
authority over demons. You know what I mean?
Right.
As a Christian, as a child of God, you have authority over these demons, bro. They're beneath you.
They're just trying to brainwash others, put them under deception.
Well, yeah, because they think they're going to win something. I heard a Satanist say yesterday in a hangout, him and his goofy friend, they were drunk and smoking pot and claiming to be they're Satanists. And the dude says, I would rather reign in hell than serve in heaven. I'm like, you really think
I definitely hear about that.
you really think you're going to reign in hell, bro?
Nobody wants to go to hell. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but they think they're going to reign there. Oh, look what I found. Yeah, so we're doing Thursday night. I don't know if just a, I don't know if Pillbox told you, but we're doing our conspiracy shows Thursday nights. The channel's called Unlocked Planet,
Yeah.
and you're more than welcome to come hang out, bro. You want
Alright.
to come? Yeah, you want
Sounds
to
good.
come? You want to come and get involved in something real serious? This channel's going to blow up. It's going to be one of the biggest conspiracy channels over the next 6 months. I promise you.
All right.
I own a marketing company, so I know how to market, and also the format is something never done before. We're going to be doing an open study and open research where we're actually researching live every conspiracy from the Catholic Church to MK Ultra, mind control, to Sandy Hook, to the Boston bombings, to 9/11.
Right.
You name it. We're going to be doing open hangout studies where we're going to be literally researching live.
Right. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll join, but I'll let you know if I can or not.
Yeah, you do what you want. I just friended you on G Plus here, so
All right. Thanks.
I can send you out links. All right, I'm gonna head out. What are you guys, Pillbox? What are you doing, man?
Nothing, man. Just chilling. Yeah, I appreciate you coming by and helping us out here, bro. And I was just gonna point something out. I just lost my train of thought when he said Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's the jackass who said that that your anus is in the wrong spot. Apparently, Neil deGrasse Tyson has a better spot that he thinks your ass should be. Also, so that's one problem. But yeah, these people are crazy, man, and that would be great for Ice Ages 14 Aces to come down there and hang out with us Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll definitely be great.
Yeah, bro. All right, guys. I'm gonna go do some things. It's 10:30 at night where I am, and God bless you guys, man. Just keep your heads up.
All right, Rancam. It was good talking to you.
No, my pleasure, brother. Just remember, this world ain't what we think it is.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely remember that.
Yeah, man. All right, Bill.
Thanks, bro. Take it easy, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right. Yeah, he seemed like a pretty cool guy.
Oh yeah, that's the one and only Rand Cam putting it down. That's who actually I invited yesterday. So
Yeah. Oh, that's the one who we were trying to invite.
yep, that's right.
All right. You in the dark right now?
No, it got dark outside. I'm actually outside right now.
Oh, I see. It's nighttime over there.
Yeah, it's dusk, 7:30. I can barely see the green in the trees. Color's about to go, and probably another 15 minutes, and it'll be all dark soon.
Oh, I see. Yeah, over here it's still a little bit of sunlight, but
Yep.
it's going down eventually.
Oh yeah, that's an absolute.
Yep.
Man. Oh, we could beat evolution to death for about 6 more hours, but gosh, let's see. Let's go over irreducible complexity. How about these people, these atheists, that try to argue against irreducible complexity, as if it doesn't matter that I can take a part off a mousetrap because I can still use it as a coaster. As if that helps. It helps them with biology. It's just so insane. What are you talking about? I can't. Yeah, you could remove a leg from a deer and we can sew them back up, and clean it off, cauterize it, send them on its way. That deer could probably stay alive, but when a wolf comes, which deer do you think is going to get iced first? Ice?
Yeah.
Duh.
Well, here's my thing that I understand with a reducible complexity. When evolutionists talk about irreducible complexity, they like criticize it. They seem to criticize it under two aspects. One is that you could remove the parts and create some other function. Like Ken Miller, in his mousetrap example, he said that you could remove it and use it as a paperclip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, stupid.
But then here's another problem. You know how when it comes to connecting functions together, it's like it's not as simple as Kim Miller puts it. Like how like he made it like if it was like Lego or something. Do you remember anything like that?
Oh yeah, it's insanity. Yeah, he's comparing a severely intricate actual piece of machinery. Even though people think a mousetrap's easy, ask how many of those people that say that have made one.
Right, exactly. They never did. But they act like if their evolution has already made it, when in reality it is not even close.
Right,
and here's another thing.
Designed mousetrap.
Right, and here's another thing. You know how Ken Miller, he was using the connecting the functions like if it was Lego, but the problem is that's not how it works, because you know how the proteins, the things that give us specific functions in our bodies, the thing is they need to have the right third dimensional structure, and if they don't have the right dimensional structure, even though they have the required functions, they cannot connect together because the molecular structures are not are not in the right state in order for them to fit together. So think of it as like of many shapes, and let's say you have two functions, x and y. From out of those many shapes, only one of them can connect to another out of all the other different shapes. Do you see the problem now?
Yeah, it's irreducibly complex. You're talking any single step missed, you have a severe problem.
Right, exactly. And it's not just like I said, it's the shape that's the problem, because it needs to be in the right shape out of so many different types of molecular structures.
Right, which is insanity, because you can't have this. You can't have. They're saying that these first steps evolved when they can't, when they need every steps to be there.
Right.
It's so stupid.
Right, exactly. And basically, when it comes down to criticizing irreducible complexity, it's just basically just soul stories. Like the eye. You know how evolutionists criticize intelligent design because they say that the eye evolved. But the thing is, they never show step by step how the eye actually got there. They just treat it as if it was just soul story. Like it just happened because it just happened.
Right. Where's the first creature with the eye that doesn't work yet and only has half of the eye? Where is it?
Exactly. And you know what's interesting and funny? During the Cambrian explosion, the trilobite? The trilobite's eye, it actually has 1,000 lenses. Now, just count how much is that compared to ours, where we just have one lens in our eye. But the trilobite has 1,000 lenses. And the Cambrian explosion is where the earliest, creatures?
Right, to assume. Earliest assumed existing from evolution creature, right. Just because obviously the reason it's there is because those are the lowest creatures, at the bottom of the ocean. The birds don't live at the bottom of the ocean.
Right, exactly. And they already have very complex structures, like the eye.
Right. Just the fact that they're already alive. You have many different organisms. Plus, you also have seashells. Well, don't we have seashells alive today? Did these seashells come from seashells, or what is
fossils?
Right. And we also have horseshoe crabs. By the way, I've touched a horseshoe crab at SeaWorld. That's 400 million years ago.
According to them.
Right, which is stupid. Of course, there are no dating methods that work. That's another pseudoscience, which they have to use, of course, one pseudoscience fake system after another pseudoscience fake system to back their previous lie. And of course, like I said yesterday, that dating thing never helps them. It actually makes it worse. The longer you go, the more you lose. You know, that's, again, entropy, another word they don't understand. So yeah, I mean, they're expecting. Here's their actual, in a nutshell. Here's what they really think happened. They think the universe existed for 16 billion years without entropy.
And they believe that it came out of nothing.
Right. Okay. So let's just give them the miracle. Okay. Boom. Here it is. Give them the miracle. Okay. There you go. Here's the Big Bang. Boom. Oh, by the way, let's forget about all these different laws of physics. We got to get rid of all the laws of physics because nothing would coagulate. We know that. You know, gravity doesn't pull things. Gravity can pull things together. Once they come together, that actually forces them back apart faster. It's called Boyle's gas law because it creates heat. If a star is trying to form, isn't it going to take some heat?
Yep.
It does. I mean, don't we think a star's hot? If a star is trying to form and it's just coming together, it's just going to force everything away. It's just going to scatter like gas. That's why it's going to turn into a gas. It's just going to float away. It's not going to coagulate.
Nope.
These are laws of science. This is what science has proven. This is what we have to know. So they have to assume that all the laws of physics and science did not exist, and entropy did not exist for 16 billion years, and then poof, here we are.
Yeah, they believe in what's it called, self-organization. They believe they believe that universe itself is capable of organizing. Right, in their imagination, they believe that when everything shows otherwise, we have zero scientific explanations for the origins of time, space, matter, gravity, or life. Period. And especially different life from a previously existing different forms of life. Right. Science has no explanations of anything, and that's why all of these systems, millions of systems have to be in place at the same time for everything else to exist anyway. So there is no evolution, and there can't be evolution. That's why we have the systems that are existing. And that's everything is irreducibly complex. You can't even have the animals without these different types of creatures. You can't have the creatures without bacteria. You need bacteria. Actually, even the DNA is a reducible complex. Because absolutely. Yeah, because even if you have the DNA nucleotide sequences, it's still going to be useless if you don't have those those transcription and translation machines. Right. DNA is by far the most irreducibly complex molecule. If you want to define it as a molecule, it is by far the most irreducibly complex system just by itself. As an individual system, there's nothing even close to it. And they don't even understand how it works. And they don't even understand the nucleotides and the receptors and what they actually do. They're just guessing. They don't even know what they do or how they work. They just know they're there. You know, it's like looking at a rocket engine from a mile away with a telescope, and there's dirt on the lens, and then I'm going to try to tell you what's going on inside this rocket engine, and that's nothing compared to DNA. Nothing. Nope, it's not. It's garbage. The DNA is just the whole ladder system to a supercomputer. I never seen a machine that is capable of copying, that is capable of transcribing, translating, and even duplicating. I'm like, how can something like that exist in nature by itself? It doesn't make any sense to me. No, absolutely. It's very clear. These are machines. They're intelligently designed systems, whether you want to call them molecules, molecular structures. Right away, as soon as you say structure, you're talking about something that had to be designed. It's a structure. That's why it's called molecular. These are all, and first of all, we're letting them have the miracle of the atom, letting them have the miracle of time, letting them have the miracle of space, letting them have the miracle of the laws. The laws of these are all miracles. There is no explanation to how any of these things should even exist. It doesn't even make sense for anything to exist. In a naturalistic sense, nothing would exist, period. There is no such thing as naturalism. That's all just ridiculous pseudoscience excuses and lies to hide from reality, as usual. Right? There is no such thing. Naturalism, to the most naturalistic sense, is the most unnaturalistic thing. It's the exact opposite. Naturalism is actually supernatural. They just don't know it. And I think with naturalism is that it doesn't even fit in the wheel of quantum physics.
Right, you have to get rid of all the laws of science anyway. So we got to get rid of all these laws of science, and then we have to, and then what mechanism? And then we're talking about imaginations. We're talking about we think it just appeared, poof, and then other stuff appeared. You got to realize you got to realize how special Jesus Christ is and how obvious. I mean, I'm not telling you that I'm trying to force this down your throat, but just look at how, like I said yesterday, Jesus Christ is the only deity, obviously. But my point is, he's the only deity in history in books that literally agrees with science. That's what's so amazing is that all the laws there, all the analogies and the things that he uses to explain things are actually very scientific. And they're just very complicated. It's just amazing because all of these things were designed by Jesus Christ. I know this. And to me, just the fact that when he says that he was their first week of creation and he made male and female, I mean, that's the biggest slap in the face to naturalists. That's there, right there. Why is it that he is the deity that says that? You know what I mean? Why is it that God knows so much? I mean, how did he know all this? How did he know that they were going to falsely come in his name like they do, like we've been going over? There's something very special about this man. There's no way that he could know all of this and be right about everything unless he was God.
Right. And the thing I want to add is that it seems that the people that buy into that naturalistic, materialistic point of view, it seems to be everything seems to go opposite in what the Bible says. How you say with that the Bible says that man came first and then female.
Exactly.
Well, according to science, female came first and then a male came. I heard.
Right. Exactly. Yes, they would have to assume that everything was asexual first, and then we're just giving them miracles. We're giving them all these miracles anyway, and as soon as you even give them the first life form, you're giving them dozens of miracles. So right away they're already in debt to continuous acceptance of actual supernatural properties they don't even understand, and then they get to stand on that platform and say, see, so life started here and then it changed into different life. Now here's the deal. Notice how special God is. The reason why how special Jesus Christ is, that's what it even specifically says. And this is true because look at scientifically everything else is true. So when they're saying that God came down, the angel came down actually, and then Mary became pregnant with God, basically, with the Son of God, that was obviously a divine intervention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, naturalists think that's so ridiculous, right? That's, oh my God, that is so stupid, a virgin birth. Well, wait a minute. We just gave you 17 virgin miracles to get to life. We just gave you 17 virgins from nothing, Ice. Nothing. You think that a virgin lady has a better chance of having a baby than nothing making 17 miracles from nothing? What's more virgin?
I don't see how.
You see what I'm saying? But they're using the virgin birth argument when everything they believe in is virgin birth. Everything in the naturalistic world is virgin. Think about it. Virgin nothing makes everything.
Sexually, right?
Right. No, it's virgin nothing. It's even worse. That's what I'm saying. At least the woman has ovaries. She's existing already. You know what I mean? They're saying that's ridiculous. Wait a minute. You're talking about virgin nothing. So you're going to tell me nothing.
Basically like birth coming out without a reproductive system. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying this is even deeper. It's a bigger problem. I'm talking about from the Big Bang. You're talking about a virgin scenario. Big Bang from what? You don't even have anything. You're talking about virgin.
What caused the Big Bang?
Right. So you're so not right. So so it's virgin.
Even if they do find a cause for the Big Bang, what's the cause that caused the cause?
Well, not just that though. Well, here's but it's even see, that's even giving them a lot though. See, it's a lot worse than that. What would cause the laws of physics to be shut off temporarily while everything else builds up or something? How would that work?
Yeah, it just defies causality.
Right. Right. Exactly. So then they're talking about all these other things that happened afterwards. which is also virgin. Now so listen to this. They're talking about virgin nothing making everything in the universe. Then the virgin everything now comes to make stars, and then the virgin stars. This is what a lot of them say. Then the virgin stars make life from non-life. See, it's one virgin birth after another in the atheist and in the naturalistic world. They're making fun of the Christian virgin birth when they believe in a million virgin births from nothing. That you see, that's how serious it is, bro.
I definitely get you.
That's what I'm saying. That's how crazy it is. So they're absolutely insane to harass Jesus Christ about a virgin birth. This is at least a living mother with the ovaries. Does that have a better chance of having a baby, or does nothing have a better chance of creating babies?
It has a better chance. It makes more sense.
How stupid. How stupid is that? I mean, that's just insanity. Right there you can see a virgin, yep. 17 virgin miracles just to get to the existence of the universe. Okay. We haven't even gotten life yet, Ice. And now we got more virgins.
No.
now I got a virgin rock. And then virgin, where does water come from? A virgin source made water now. Wow, that's convenient. Oh, and a virgin source made a star, a tiny star inside the planet that makes magma, so like an engine for the planet. That makes no sense. So we got a virgin star inside the planet accidentally. Okay, yeah, well, and by the way, wait, hold on. And here's the deal, Ice. We still don't even have life. Psychotic.
And what's crazy is that they believe that we came from non-living chemistry. You know, like RNAs and all that.
Right. So if it's not even living, isn't that a serious virgin scenario?
Yep, it is.
So there you go.
I mean, non-living chemistry is not intelligent. It's not life. They're just mindless. They don't have no sense of direction. They're not capable of organizing themselves.
Right. I exactly. I know. So, that's just it. Is that even you would have to make so many different pseudoscience excuses just to get to a Big Bang, then to do all these other things. You're talking about millions of virgin systems that came out of nowhere that have to exist at the same time, though. So you're actually talking about all these virgin at the same time.
Yeah, through science of abiogenesis. I even made a video of it. I think you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean they always try to go. See, they know that's impossible, or a lot of them do, so they don't even want to argue that. They want to hide from that, and they'll run from you every time you bring up abiogenesis. That has nothing to do with evolution. They'll say that every time. It has nothing. And I'll be like, wait a minute. I thought you just asked me if I believe things evolution. Yeah. Hey, do you think something? Wait, hold on. Listen to this. I'm gonna say. I always go. Don't you think something going from? Don't you think something going from non-life to life is some sort of change? But that's not evolution. You just throw right back at them. It's so stupid. And they go, They don't know how to answer it.
And what's even stupid is that even if they say that evolution is not part of abiogenesis. Wait. Because I was just talking to someone on YouTube. He told me that evolution happens at the molecular level. He was basically talking about abiogenesis. And then he told me, so you don't think that evolution occurs at the molecular level? And then later on, he defined evolution as basically change in adaptation. I'm like, what?
Exactly.
I'm like, what? You said that evolution occurs at the molecular level, which is abiogenesis. With the molecules, they assemble together and supposedly make life. And now you're telling me that evolution is just a change of adaptation? I'm like, you're just contradicting yourself.
Oh, that's all they can do. They have no choice. Once you're going to get them cornered on their first lie, they're going to go to the other corner of the square. And then you're going to get them that, and they're just going to keep going around every single corner, and they're just going to keep running in that circle in the square. And that's what they're going to do. 1 minute they're going to say, don't you believe in change?
Yeah. And then
I believe in change, yeah. And then they'll say, see, that's evolution. Wait a minute, because I believe in change, that means I should believe in morphing Power Rangers animals. Okay.
Right. The problem with the word evolution is that it's really ambiguous. It has so many definitions. even according to the mouths of atheists and evolutionists, because some of them say that evolution is just a change of allele. Others say that it is just speciation, and others say that it's just change. You see how
Exactly,
you see
exactly, and
how
they'll just keep exactly. They'll lily pad the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. They'll just keep skipping on to the next idea, and then
right.
eventually they're just going to say, as usual, what do they say? You don't understand.
Yeah, you
You
don't
don't.
understand
You
it.
don't
You don't
understand it.
understand
You just
anything.
don't. You're stupid. You're
Yeah,
stupid. I know how this works.
or that
Yeah.
you're not qualified to speak about evolution because you're not a
Yeah. What are
biologist.
your qualifications? Yeah. They'll ask you, what? Wait, do you have a degree? Do you have a degree? And then they'll be like, oh, what was Darwin's degree? Oh, he was a theology student. Oh, you freaking idiot.
Yep.
I believe in Darwin, but he studied the Bible. Wait, Darwin was a theology student, but he's your master scientist. I mean, I've been raising plants, and that's the thing I says. I mean, I raise tortoises. I have a couple
Right.
birds. I have sulcata spur thigh tortoises. We call them shell dragons. I got Chinese water dragons, and we even raise some papyrus, Egyptian papyrus. And once you get your hands on these things and you're honest with yourself, you can understand the creation in a different way. And that's what we do, and that's the true form of science, is to actually interact with the creation. That's the real science. That's what scientists were doing for thousands of years, going out to these creatures, observing them, living around them. The dragons of yore, thousands of years ago, and they could even see these creatures. They could observe them, and there's Flavius Josephus, and so many historians even came back and told us about them, and even said some of them were gold,
Yeah.
and some of them had colors, and some of them would shimmer, and they would walk on two legs, and they were so menacing that a beast wouldn't even get close to them, nor a man would never even get close to these dragons. So that gives you the idea that they have to get rid of history, they have to get rid of science, they have to get rid of everything to believe in their pseudo fictitious fairy tale coward world of evotardism.
Yeah, and there are even ancient cultures that record, like creatures that look like dinosaurs.
Right, that's what they are. They're dragons. They've always known they were dragons. The dragon is the most common named animal in all of antiquity. From what, thousands of different cultures, they're talking about these animals. Some of them fly, some of them don't. Some of them have 4 legs, some of them have 2 legs, some have long necks, some have short necks. Some are in the ocean.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, that's what a dragon is. Dragons just means big reptile. That's it.
Yep.
What is
And
that? And dinosaur,
even
right?
even in the Bible, I forgot what book it was, but it mentioned this thing called behemoth.
Oh, we just talked about that today. Yeah, and there's 3 great points about behemoth. Obviously, the tail like a cedar tree, and God is specifically saying that it's the chief of his ways, which means it's the most amazing animal. You know what I mean? The chief. Wait, this is the chief. The elephant's cool, but if you look at those dragon bones in those museums, there's nothing even close to a long neck dragon. But here's the big kicker here is when people want to say that it's an elephant, you got to point out their ignorance about, and I admit that we're all ignorant, but what's really important here is when it says it eats grass like an ox.
Yeah, and it also mentioned that nobody would dare mess with it.
Right, but here's the deal about that. Do you understand what I mean? It eats grass like an ox. That means you know what that means, right? That means it can't be an elephant.
Nope.
You know
'Cause
why, right?
Elephants don't eat grass.
Well, no, they do. They don't, but they use their trunk. They don't put their mouth to the ground like an ox.
Right.
They have to use their nose. So that's totally not an elephant. That's absolutely showing it. That's why God said that. God is so small to say stupid things. So he's like, watch, people are going to say it's an elephant. So I'm going to say it eats grass like an ox, which guess what other animal does that? Herbivore reptiles, like tortoises, maybe triceratops, maybe, or obviously we know that, and behemoth is the brachiosaur, the long-necked dragon, the sauropod, obviously ate grass, and he had a very long neck ice, so all he had to do was bend his neck down and eat grass. An elephant doesn't do that. Elephant can't bend down. Elephant uses its nose, its trunk. An ox does not have a trunk. So if an ox has a trunk, then yeah, you can say it's an elephant. And then we can put a giant tail on the elephant too. But you see every single line says not an elephant, not an elephant, not an elephant. Sorry. It's that simple. And that's what they continue to go to. Right.
It's basically common sense.
Right. There was a fake Christian the other day who said, "Oh, that's an elephant," and that's why I got really pissed off. And that's what we're talking about right now. The idiot came on to my thread, and I just got done yelling at him. I told him to shut his mouth, and then he comes back on there again, and tells you, "Oh, this is an elephant." I'm like, "You think elephants eat? You think elephants kneel down to the ground, put their face in the grass? When's the last time you see an elephant eating stuff like that? No, elephants use their trunks. You got to be an idiot. Did you ever see an elephant? I mean, you just got to think about that, but." It's just ridiculous that people make these claims. They don't even have a clue of what they're talking about. They don't read any of it. Do you see any of these sentences, what it says? My gosh, it just blows
Yeah,
my mind.
I read.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, I met those kind of people. It's just weird,
Right.
how they.
How does a cedar tree sway? You know what that means? It actually means like it sways very stiffly. It's very upright. It's strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's long. An elephant's tail is a fly swatter hanging. You know, it's so stupid. They're talking about a very strong, massive, upright, extended tail of a very large creature that's not a mammal.
yeah,
There's no mammal with a tail like that.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't take that much, understanding to know that it was a dinosaur. Because
Right, right.
I can't think of no animal right now in the present that is capable of matching that description.
In every single right. I mean, absolutely. It's just very clear. What's there to know?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's unambiguous. It's clear.
right. What does he mean? He says this is the chief of his ways. The chief. Well, that's just something amazing. If we saw it, our hearts would drop in our stomachs, and we would have tears coming down our faces, and we would be absolutely in shock.
Right.
People don't even
I
understand.
think
They don't even have a clue of how amazing these animals were. That you would be absolutely scared to death.
I'm pretty sure.
The behemoth could kill you accidentally. The Tyrannosaur did not approach behemoth. Tyrannosaur said, "Oh, I'm not gonna mess with I'm not gonna mess with that. You don't mess with a behemoth. Not any beast ever messes. Nothing could. Those long neck dragons are the most brutal, destructive, and dominating creatures that ever walked the earth.
Yep. And they mentioned, I think also mentioned that it used to live in in the swamp or something like that.
Right. It even taught the River Jordan. It says that the willows of the brook compass him about. That means he's so big, he can't go under. An elephant can even go under willow trees. No, this animal has to go around willow trees, bro. Yeah, that
Yeah.
means he's being compassed around the river by the. Wait a minute. Can't animals today? Can't they just think of a hippopotamus in a river? It can just go under the trees. You know.
Yeah. You there? Hello.
Can you hear me now? No, you don't hear me now. Or cut out, huh?
It seems like we're having a technical issue. You'll probably come back. You there?
Hey, you hear me, man?
Yeah, I could hear you. Something happened? Hello?
Yeah, man. I don't know why you got cut off. Last thing I was about was the willows of the brook compass him about.
Yeah, something about a hippo.
Right, like the hippopotamus has to go under the tree, and this animal they're talking about has to go around willow trees. Willow trees can be 75 feet, 100 feet tall. Any elephant, even a big, massive woolly mammoth, I mean the biggest mammal, can just walk under these trees. There's talking about this behemoth has to go around these trees. They can't just go under the trees. That is a Godzilla of a creature. Behemoth was the 150-foot long sauropod. That's it. And they found another one. They found another one in Siberia, another brachiosaur. They're saying it's probably like something past 100 tons or something. I mean, 200,000 pounds.
Yep. I mean, it makes sense actually.
That's unbelievable. That's as heavy as like a freaking airliner, isn't it? I mean, that's insanity.
Yep, it is.
Talk about a small ship. A 200,000 pound creature. I mean, that might be more than a blue whale, actually. I don't even know if a blue whale can weigh 200,000. I don't know. That's mind boggling. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I can't think of no modern creature right now that's capable of being that big.
Right. So this is just very clear. And then they'll go, oh, okay, well, it's just allegorical. Oh, okay, right. That's why they're saying behold, which means look at him.
Right.
Stupid idiots, guys. They always have an excuse. It's like, that's why God set all this out. And that's why, isn't that interesting that the Bible perfectly matches history and science, absolutely perfect, about the animals that we know about the DNA, the strand. That's why on that, have you seen that laminin gene?
The what? The laminin gene?
The laminin gene where it's a cross? Yeah.
No. There's
a gene. Yeah, look up laminin gene, and it's Jesus, the cross that binds us. I mean, that's actually the gene that holds all of our molecular structures together. I mean, what? That is just insane. Yeah, type in that. And I hope I'm not saying it wrong. There's a lot of different scientific different words that could be similar. So I hope I'm not saying it wrong. I think it's laminin gene, and I apologize if I'm not saying it right. I believe that's what it's called, and it's shaped like a cross. You type that in, look it up.
Is it? It was established under peer-reviewed studies, or?
I think it's been confirmed. Yeah, it's been confirmed by many hospitals. I mean, it's under the microscope. They have an actual picture of it. They show you a diagram. They show all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's part of the science stuff.
Right. And here's what's so amazing. Like, look at the Old Testament aligns with science and shows us these animals that we knew were always here, and talks about a young Earth, which makes a lot of sense because everything actually looks really young. That's why nothing is stabilized. If everything was old, everything would look old. It'd be crusty. It'd be burnt. Everything would be eroded away. We wouldn't have mountains left. By the erosion rates, at how much the erosion's going to, just wind along mountains would be carved away in 1 million years. The Old Testament confirms all this, and the Old Testament confirms Christ before he even comes. It even talks about that he's going to be in so many different ways, in so many different chapters. Over and over again, it talks about Jesus Christ and confirming it. And then Jesus Christ comes and then literally says, yes, this is how the creation is. It only brings forth after its kind. Why would some pseudo-religion talk about that? Why would it even care about mentioning that animals bring forth after their animals? You know what I mean? Like, there's something behind that. He did that to show, I know these things because I'm the creator. Only the creator could know those things, because back then they didn't have any of the scientific knowledge. I mean, most of the world did understand that, though. Let's be honest. For thousands of years, people knew that, horses make horses. But
Right.
he had to write that down if that was common knowledge, why would he write that down? You know what I mean? Like, duh, right? You wouldn't waste your time right now saying that cars drive down the street. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you say that? We know that's duh. Everybody knows cars go or electricity flows through the street lights or whatever, or or underneath the ground, or you know what I mean, things like that, or there's electrical lanterns or things like that. You know, we're not going to talk about the obvious stuff. So why were they talking about this? Because they knew people would question it. Why does God say these things in the Bible? Specifically about behold this animal, you know, so that you can't even trick him. Just one line proves, you know, atheists wrong, proves naturalists wrong. One line, every single other line that you'll see destroys the naturalistic worldview, and then Jesus comes and confirms it all. And that's why there's so many literal meanings and ways throughout history and just science and everything that comes together that literally proves that Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. Like, that's why it's so crazy that, you know, it's not just a couple lines. It's one after another, after another, after another. And it took me years, bro. It took me years to realize it.
Right. But then again, all of that truth is being suppressed by atheists and fake Christians.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yep. So, you want to talk about something else in evolution? Like, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm up for anything. We did the irreducible complexity, but see, no matter what, it's always going to go to evolution.
Yeah.
No matter what, everything evolves to that subject.
Yeah.
But you know, because it's the subject that so many people keep holding to their hearts to ignore truth. So what's there to talk about? I mean, I like cars. What kind of car do you drive?
I drive what is it? Mustang.
Oh yeah, that's nice. What year is that?
It's 2009.
Oh, that's pretty new. That's nice. Nice.
Yeah, it is. And you? What do you drive?
Oh, that's actually, I think that's one of the better looking years. I think 2009.
Yeah.
I don't like the new one. I think that new Mustang looks horrible. I don't know. I can't stand that new one. I drive a 2001 Dodge Ram.
All right.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I've had it since 2002. I've had it for 14 years too.
All right.
Yeah, it's the black one in the picture with the 4x4.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. So, you know, ever since I put out the video of beneficial mutations, so
Yeah.
what were your thoughts after?
Oh man, I don't really remember it. I'll be honest, because I watched so many of these things. But what did I comment? I probably shared it, right?
Yeah, I think you shared it.
Oh, you know, I already have my mind made up, you know, just like everybody else. But my point is that there's really no such thing as a beneficial mutation. The genetics is already there that makes things. You know, so either the genetics is there to make my leg so I can walk, and it's going to do that correctly so I can walk correctly, or it's not going to do it correctly and I can't walk correctly.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You can say it's a beneficial mutation, but there's either if it's right, there's no such thing as it's really not a mutation. Then if it's done right, it's not a mutation. So it's kind of an oxymoron. It's a catch-22 or 33. There's no way to say it's an actual mutation, even if it's making my legs normal. If everything's normal, you know, which I can't really say everything about me is normal. You know,
I mean,
let's say
it has to be a mutation because it changes one of the DNA nucleotide sequences, and that's
right.
what
But
a mutation
right.
is.
Right. So let's say that's happening. I don't think that's going to be beneficial.
Well, I mean, the way I see it, I do know that there are beneficial mutations that give adaptation to the species, but at the same time, I see it as a degradation on the genetic level.
Well, how's it beneficial?
It's beneficial by degrading one of the genetic information. Like, let me give you an example. You know how in my video I talk about antibiotic resistance? All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The way the bacterium actually becomes resistant is by having the receptor site of the ribosome to be altered. But then that point mutation actually messes up the genetic information of the ribosome, which causes the proteins that make the ribosome to function.
Right.
You know, it causes it to be degraded.
Right, but that's right. But how's that a beneficial mutation? Is what I'm saying.
I mean, it's beneficial in the sense of adaptation, but when it comes, I don't see it as a The only thing I would say is that it's not an increase of genetic information.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying is I would wish that, I don't mind them finding beneficial mutations, but I've never seen one, and that's not one either. And I'm going to tell you why that's not a beneficial mutation. The reason that's not a beneficial mutation is because it only helps it in one scenario. It doesn't help it in reality. It helps it in a controlled understanding of, this particular system, it's going to be immune to this disease. Well, that's not the only disease that exists. Okay,
Right.
so in the real world, millions of diseases exist, and now it's actually going to be more susceptible to many more problems. So that's not a benefit.
Right. And even if it becomes beneficial, it might not be fit with how it was before. You see what I mean?
Right, but that's the thing is that DNA is designed to copy as best it can to have a reproduction success.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
DNA is basically a built-in mechanism to help species adapt to the environment.
Right. So when the kitties make kitties, either the kitties are going to be good kitties, the kitties are going to be average kitties, the kitties are going to be below average kitties, or the kitties aren't going to be kitties at all. So even if you want to give yourself multiple options, you can have kitties, average kitties, good kitties, lower kitties, or no kitties. So there's really no such thing as a beneficial mutation. The information is there to make the cat. The cat can make the fur. Okay, well, so let's say the cat comes out and it has very little fur. That's a mutation. Okay, let's say it's a hairless, or let's say it's a Cornish Rex or something, or a mix.
Right.
And where's the beneficial mutation? There's really no such point. It's either going to make the cat be an operational cat, because that's what the code is designed to copy to make it work. It's like if you have an assembly line, you can compare it to an assembly line of cars. Let's say Dodge trucks, because I own one, and they're making Dodge trucks in the assembly line. If let's say there's let's say we had an accident in the factory, and I had to repair the broken machines that make Dodge trucks. So when I repaired the machines, I still have to use intelligence to the factory. And guess what? Now that factory is going to continue to make Dodge trucks.
Right, because it's not like the factory is going to make Dodge by itself.
Right, it can't even make Dodge Vipers.
Right.
It's only going to make the trucks.
Even if you make the factory work at random, it's going to take an enormous amount of time for it to make a Dodge.
Oh no, you'll ruin it. You have to start with the frame. You can't start with the interior. Right. You got to start with the frame. Then you can put the axles on. Then you can put suspension components on. You can put the shocks on it. Then you can put the unibody on it. Then you can put the bed section on it. And then we can start putting bolts in. It's got to be in a sequence, just like DNA. It has to be in a sequence. So here you go again. Not only, right, every single time you go into this, it totally destroys. And and here's the deal. I can't, even though they're the same name, that factory, even if I changed everything, I couldn't. I'd have to tear it down if I wanted to make Dodge Vipers. And they have the same name, Dodge truck, Dodge Viper. I can't make a Dodge Viper in a Dodge truck factory. I'd literally have to destroy the entire factory and start from scratch. Just like you can't use a squid genome to make a polar bear. Right. You have the genome, there's nothing that this genome can make. Now, you can use some type of, Doctor Who evil, Satan science, and you can probably mix things, but that has nothing to do with evolution. Evolution can't do that. That takes some sort of black magic, ridiculous genetic style, GMO style things when they start mixing stuff. That's a totally different argument. Plus, you're still dealing with two already existing gene pools.
Right.
So,
from what I understand, biological life forms, the DNA, how we know that it codes things. Well, at the same time, it also has like these regions where they don't code anything. They don't code like for proteins nor amino acids, because the DNA, it's made up. 2% of the DNA actually consists of protein coding regions. Like where the regions they code for amino acids and then proteins. But then on 98% of them you have non-coding regions, like they don't code for anything. But what's interesting about it is that those non-coding regions, they actually regulate other genes, and because of that regulation, it's controlling the other genes, to turn on and off when it comes to embryo development. So it's pretty it's pretty evident to me that life does not only exist from coding, things, but it also comes from regulatory, like machines, like control machines.
Right. No, that's just like a factory. So if I got the Dodge truck going on the line and mine's black, and I got the Dodge truck going on the line and it's not painted yet, you have these machines there that haven't been used the whole time. Well, now the Dodge truck's done, and now it's ready for paint. And these machines are kicking in. Now it's going to pay. It's more machines. It's more mechanisms that you thought they didn't work. Well, now look what they're doing.
Right.
And away we go. And now and then you got to do other stuff. Now I actually have to add fluids to the vehicle too. DNA does all that shit by itself. Yeah, there is no such thing as junk. Yeah,
the DNA is just one hell of a architecture.
Right, right. And what you're doing here is you're debunking junk DNA, because they used to say junk DNA, which is so stupid. It just shows they're ignorant. They didn't know what it was, so it must not be anything because we don't know what it is.
Right, and the interesting about it is that you know how evolutionists, they say that if two non-coding regions are actually conserved, meaning like at least 80% of the sequences matches, then it must have some kind of function. But what it was, in my evolution fairy tale number 11 video, I was talking about it was a critical response in defense of my number 8 video. When I was criticizing how similarity is not unequivocal to a common ancestor. You remember? I think you know that. All right. Well, it seems that when the scientists, they deleted those conserved sequences, it actually had no effect on an organism. But according to the logic of evolutionists, that those conserved sequences must have a function. Now, the interesting about it is that it might be possible that those conserved sequences that were knocked out, that had no effect on the embryo, it might have some important function in another aspect.
Right, or they could have had functions maybe thousands of years ago when we were in a different environment. We don't know. Either way, it doesn't help. Losing something or telling me that something doesn't work doesn't help me know how things got here. Right. That's the whole thing about evolution. How did it get here? They're so stupid. They always do this, trying to tell me why something doesn't work anymore. Yeah, you see, I just blew the engine in my truck, which means that's how it's going to turn into an airplane now. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going to turn into an F-22 now because I blew my engine, or I don't need my engine anymore. Wait a minute, my transmission doesn't work anymore, so now a nuclear reactor is going to grow in my bed of my truck, and it's going to turn into a battleship with nuclear cannons. That's the same idea. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're telling me losing something is going to help you explain. Oh, but why do we have wisdom teeth? You see, are you stupid? So because I'm losing my wisdom teeth, I don't need my wisdom teeth anymore. That shows how I got here. Okay.
I want to add something to that. You know how evolutionists say that our wisdom teeth come from our ancestors? The funny thing about
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Human ancestors. Yeah, human. Yeah.
Yeah. The interesting about it is that the wisdom teeth in Eastern cultures, where they eat like solid food, like hard solid food, requires a lot of biting force. They actually don't have a problem with the wisdom teeth. But over here, in the Western culture, like in North America, we actually have problems with the wisdom teeth. Now think about it. Why do you think the Eastern people don't have a problem with the wisdom teeth?
Because they're using their jaws more. Because they need their jaws more. Right.
Exactly. It seems like all this stuff that we have in the body is just there for a reason. You know what I mean?
Right. And then these idiots talk about the appendix.
The appendix.
The appendix. Oh my goodness. And then how about when they go, well, look, the horse's appendix is way bigger. And it's like, oh yeah, and I bet the horse's body is also bigger. Genius. You see, the horse only weighs 1,100 pounds. Doesn't it need a bigger appendix or a bigger heart? I mean, everything they say is so stupid.
Right.
Everything they say is so stupid every time. And I'm so sick of listening to them. And they're Dunning-Krugers. They think they know what they're talking about, and they're faking it. It's all fake.
right.
And
And
I don't like being lied to. I don't like it.
me either. But it's been stupid since like the 17th or 18th century. You know, did you know in the 17th or 18th century, scientists actually thought that we have like 76 vestigial organs in our body? Well,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I'm serious. I actually have what is it? I can't tell who the what is it? The scientist was, but he found like at least 76 functions in the human body in that time, and that's when scientists changed and they thought that they were wrong when it comes to vestigial organs. And I think that was the time after Darwin died, because you know how when after Darwin died, people got into the belief that we have useless parts in our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of the pseudosciences of the time. Yes.
Right. Yeah, because if you're gonna call an organ what is it, useless, that's just being presumptions. I mean, how do you know it's really useless? Did you test every possible aspect of when it comes to functionality?
Right. Like, how do I know I need my brain stem? What do I do? Should I just put a screwdriver through my brain stem and see if I need it?
Yeah. And but they will argue. Then again, they will argue is that well, you could just remove it and you could still live. Well, I'm like, I could remove one of my fingers and I could still live.
Right. Right. No, that's just it. It's like, wait a minute. You're telling me because I might not need it. That shows me how I got here. You see, it doesn't even matter. That's why you could give them all these arguments.
Right, exactly.
Let's see if vestigial organs are happening. Let's say we're losing these things. We keep losing things. What's going to happen? I mean, don't we have? Hey, let's go in that direction. If you just go in that direction, use uniformitarianism principles. Use their own principle. You see, a lot of Christians are scared of uniformitarianism, but you know what? It still destroys evolution. So I don't mind it. I'm not afraid to break. I'll use uniformitarianism. If I keep losing things, what's going to happen? Yeah. I mean, no matter how you look at it, if it's funny about uniformitarianism, key to the present is the key to the past is basically what it means. Well, guess what kitties make now? So what did kitties make then? So use uniformitarianism, use everything they want, and they will just destroy themselves every single time because everything they do is a lie. It's a fake, it's a lie, it's a scam, and it's a joke, and they've been exposed, and that's why they can't have discussions. You'll watch these debates, you'll watch these conversations of atheists on YouTube, ICE, and they don't have anything of any substance whatsoever. They have nothing to add.
Right. They can't even prove that the vestigial organ was actually functional. I mean, actually had the same function as the ancestor. You know what I mean? They just presume that it came from an ancestor, but they never show the evidence.
Right, exactly. I know. I mean, what does that tell me? That and then the other big argument is that DNA has been really strong for evolution because of the similarities. Like, what does similarities have to do from hereditary? How does I'm made out of the same stuff a rock is made out of? Does that mean I'm related to the rock?
Yeah, and I want to add something to it. You know how evolutionists say that similarity is proof of a common ancestor?
Right, exactly.
You heard something like that, right? Well, if you look at my evolution fairy tale, what was the number 8 video? I bring up these journals where unrelated species, that they're not even cousins together. They have parallel similarities together. And I'm like,
right.
So you're telling me that just because those species have similarities, that they share a common ancestor? Well, how do you explain the similarities that occur through parallel developmental pathways that have nothing to do with common ancestry? Like, for example, the leaf beetle and the taste system between the insects and the mammals. How do you explain that? Certainly, they weren't inherited by common ancestor because obviously they didn't come from the same common ancestor.
Well, here's the problem with the common ancestor idea anyway. There had to be a first living form. What's its common ancestor? See, next. It doesn't matter. You're wrong. Right away, bro. All you do is go back to the beginning. Okay, well, what's the first creature? Great. What was the first creature's common ancestor? Genius.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, did that first ancestor go from the dirt?
Right, and then they're gonna no, you don't understand. You just don't understand.
Right. It's just like so many dumb logic that they use.
Right, it's just stupidity. There's no such thing as an argument with an atheist. Either you're going to entertain them or you're going to get entertained yourself. It's just, and we can help people on the side. We can help people watching the debate and looking from a distance. But other than that, yeah, they're in no danger of even being able to hold an intelligent
Right.
conversation.
Actually, the way I see it, I see similarities more as evidence for a common designer rather than common ancestry.
Absolutely. And here's the deal. What do I want to, I mean, look at all these animals. Look at the horse. I mean, do I want a horse to not have a head? You know what I mean? Like, do I want a
Yeah.
horse? Do I want
Different.
like
Yeah.
do I want to feed a horse through its butt? Like, how do I want to feed? Like, a horse is just amazingly beautiful. Why do these things have to be so beautiful if it's all about survival and chicken
Right.
shit and all
Especially
this
the
pseudoscience?
exactly, especially the butterfly. I don't think natural selection doesn't even care about beauty. All it cares is about survival. So how did that butterfly become beautiful?
Yeah, right. And then we got an even bigger problem. Why would evolution make flowers so that all the animals and everything could just eat them first?
Right. Exactly.
What? You're gonna make flour? Why would? Oh yeah, that's how I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna make myself really big, beautiful, bright. I'm gonna be like this, right? And okay, that's gonna be that's survival of the fittest. That's how you got flowers there, yeah.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, another thing I want to add is that, for common design, the reason why I think it's evidence for common design is because, there's like different animals, like species that have similar anatomical structures, but they are used for different purposes. So, so wouldn't it make more sense, like, if a designer could use common things for different solutions, wouldn't that make more sense?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too. We look at look at a tortoise. A lot of people think a tortoise looks ugly, and that's fine. But a tortoise has a tortoise actually has a face. You can still look at a tortoise face. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you're not going to see it's making an expression, but it has an expression. You can see the face. Why do all animals have faces that you can see an expression? You can see a face of a living creature. You see a face. I mean, other than a worm, right? A worm really doesn't have a face, I guess. Some insects probably don't, right? But most insects even have a head with eyes, mouth that you can kind of get a face out of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why? And we have the comprehension. We have the actual built-in. We have a built-in processor in our consciousness that we can recognize the face. Just like you can take a piece of paper and draw the smiley face. It takes two dots and a line, and now we see we see emotion, we see a face. We are programmed to see faces, and all these animals have these faces that we can look at their different. This is what a tortoise looks like. This is what a hippo looks like. This is what a cockroach looks like. We can identify them by their faces even. We don't even have to look at the rest of their bodies. That's crazy. That's a brilliant design. That's a brilliant creation.
Right, it is. And I think it goes deeper than that. When I was talking about common design, how can I put this? I think the designer used similar structures but in different species. I think when it comes to common structures, I think they're used for in respect to different species that need it actually. Like, take for example the echolocation system between the bat and the dolphin and the whale. They both have the same protein coding sequence of echolocation. So
Right.
I'm like, right. So it's amazing how the designer used common things, for similar solutions.
Exactly. These animals are very different, yet have some of the same tools. They have some of the
Right.
same makeup in their body. And guess what? They all have skulls.
Yep, they do.
Right, but they don't all have wings. They don't all have flippers, but they all have sonar. Well, that's amazing. And this animal's not even in the water. It needs sonar and flies around. This animal's in the water and uses sonar? Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that's because the designer has different designs for many different intricate idiosyncrasies of different organisms and living creatures. Right. Duh. Don't you want them to be compatible? Don't you want them to be similar? How do you have a creation where everything's completely different? How do you have a creation that's interactable? How do you have a creation that could coexist if everything is completely different? How am I supposed to eat something that's not compatible with my digestive system? How am I supposed to eat something if I can't eat this type of meat? If it's made out of igneous rock, that's not going to be the healthiest thing. I need it to be made out of protein. Right, I need the plant to be able to be a plant to eat. 90% of plants you can eat you can just about eat anything. I mean, it's crazy. Why are we compatible? Why can I just, you can eat the grape leaves off a grapevine and they taste like grapes with no sugar. You can eat those. They're healthy. They're good for you. They got all kinds of vitamins and stuff. Nobody even knows that. You can eat grape leaves. Why? I take them off the grapevine. I give them to my dragon. My animals love them. The tortoises love them. Why can I and my tortoises, we can both eat the same stuff? Also, right. I mean, is that because we're related? No, idiots. So we can live together. Gosh, man. Right, exactly. Duh, how am I supposed to live here with this creature? And then if evolution were true, right? Go ahead.
And then there are animals like species where they cannot eat what we eat because it'll turn them sick eventually.
Right. Actually, God lets us have it pretty easy. God gives humans a lot of leeway here. Some of the things we can eat, like dogs and cats, would shorten their lifespans and things like that.
Right.
And you can't even these dragons that I have. I can't just let them have fruit. They'll actually develop problems. If I just give them stripes every day, they're going to start developing issues. They might get colds. Their immune system's going to have problems. But a lot of people live off of worse than fruit. They live off of TV dinner and McDonald's and garbage. Yep. And we can get away with that. We're pretty lucky.
Yep. Because it seems like every species is designed for their own purpose. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's what why do we have bacteria? I mean, and first of all, where do bacteria come from? Bacteria just don't come from the dirt accidentally. They have to come from other living organisms.
Right.
We need it. You have bacteria in your stomach. You have bacteria. You got bacteria in your eyes. Right. And then look at the termite with the microscopic germs or whatever it is inside the termite's stomach. The termite can't even digest the food without them.
Right.
Stupid. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Think of how stupid that's. Think of the irreducible complexity of a termite. It's got things inside of it that have to live to digest the wood.
Yeah, so many complex parts. And then
right, and you're not even talking about the same creature. It's got creatures inside of them.
Right, exactly. And then what's even more crazy? Like bacteria, they actually have the ability to transfer their DNA into other unrelated organisms, other unrelated bacteria. Yeah,
right.
Right. And it's like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they don't even know how that works either.
No, they don't understand it. And the funny thing about it is that they say that it's called horizontal gene transfer.
Right.
Evolutionists say that it supports their evolution. But the funny thing is, it contradicts their idea of similarity is unequivocal to a common ancestor, because it shows that those similarities can be passed on directly to other organisms without even having a common ancestor in the first place.
Right, that's true. Right, exactly. Right. And that's the thing, though, is it's part of the system. And what did sharks eat if there weren't other fish? What fish evolved first? What plankton evolved first before the plankton could have microbes? And how did these things work before these things were living? It's all bullshit. It's all pseudoscience. They all have to be existing at one time. It's very simple. Exactly. This is not a mystery. The lion has to eat the zebra. I mean, do you understand? How did the lion? You're gonna tell me it just all evolved at the same time? They just get real stupid. That's their only option. Everything just evolved together. Wait a minute, how does it evolve together? It has to already be there. They just keep going in this circle. It doesn't make any sense. And of course, they'll say, "You just don't understand."
And evolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Gosh, man, it's just crazy. It's insanity. You don't have to know a lot of stuff to understand that evolution is pseudoscience. You do, however, have to believe in a lot of lies to believe evolution is science. So yes.
Right. Those are the gullible
Right.
people.
Exactly.
People that don't even bother to question what they believe in.
Right, and they don't even know what they're talking about. They're just faking it.
Right, exactly. And they think that they're right too. Because science says so.
Right, and then you ask them to show you what part of science says so, and then they'll show you, a link that says, "Oh, we think this tells us." It's like, did you read the link? It says it helps them get an idea of maybe having information someday to understand evolution. It doesn't even say this has any sort of evidence for evolution. It literally says that on these allele frequency sizes. Right here, it says this could give us a idea of things evolved. That's your best evidence? Are you that stupid? You're so stupid. And then they flip out on you.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
And the funny thing about it is that the papers they give us, that they think it supports evolution, it seems to support more like, creation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it never supports evolution. Yeah, it never. Even when they try to they will lie 7 times in a paper, and it still won't help them. They still won't be at evolution. It's like, yeah, this is pathetic. You just wrote down a bunch of bullshit. You made up half of it. You're all ignorant assumptions, and you're completely ignoring the fact that it was all based off of genetic information that already existed. Yeah. As usual. Right. So it's like the same circular stupidity every time. Yeah. And so then they go to the dating. I like it when they go to the dating method. It's like, oh, we found these human tools, and these ones are 3.3 million years old. It's like, oh, okay, so now you're saying humans have been making humans for 3.3. Boy, that's a lot of evolution. Oh boy, man, you got me there. Let me tell you, they just keep adding on time to that ice. Oh, first it was what, 400,000. Then it was then it was like 800,000. Then it was 1 million. Then it was 1.6, and now we're all up to 3.3 million years of humans making humans, and that's your evidence for evolution. If that isn't stupid, like I don't know what the word stupid means. If that's not completely stupid, I'm confused. Obviously, somebody help me. They literally are telling you that for 3.3 million years in their imagination, nothing evolved. Therefore, evolution.
Right, exactly. Just like how they say that living fossils supports their evolution. I'm like, if you're telling me that evolution occurs, like in a few million years, then, and you're telling me that those 400 million years of living fossils that didn't evolve for shit, you're telling me that supports your evolution? You know what I mean?
Right. If a fossil wasn't living, what would that mean? Ask them. Okay, so what if this fossil? What if coelacanths were all extinct now? What would that mean for you? And watch, they have no idea. They won't even be able to answer you.
Right. Exactly. And then you know how they say that you could disprove evolution if you show a modern animal existing from that time. Well, the funny thing, there's already animals like that. They're called living fossils. But then they try to shift but then again they shift the goalpost.
Right, they're 180 degrees backwards. Right. 180 degrees completely. It's like, wait a minute. It's like we have fossils of not only tortoises and turtles, but specific species of turtles and like the alligator snapping turtle or the snapping turtle. We have found species of snapping turtles fossilized. We have also found species of like the leatherback tortoises fossilized, and we have obviously found species of tortoises such as spurred tortoises fossilized. Guess what? All these species of tortoises and turtles still live now. So what does that mean for you, evolutionists? Because if they didn't exist now, what would you be saying? If tortoises and turtles, that the exact same species, did not exist now, they'd be saying, oh, see, they don't exist now because they died off and they evolved. But they exist now, and they say, see, they were so strong, evolution. What? Are you
They're
stupid? You're
just
so stupid. It is
right,
just, it's just never ending how stupid these people are. If they died off, it's evolution. Oh, okay. Oh, but what if they survive? Oh, if they survived, it's evolution.
right,
What?
exactly. And if they don't evolve, it's still evolution.
Oh, yeah, that's because they're so strong. They're perfect. The cockroach is perfect. Oh,
Right,
boy, I bet they are, because that's why you want to be one. Yep.
right.
You want a cockroach. Yep, exactly, bro. Remember, they want to have no emotions. So
Uh-huh.
the cockroach is perfect. It's funny because they're basically saying like the tortoise, the turtle. It's like, not a lot of people think of the tortoise as like too much of an impressive animal, but they're telling me that it's so perfect it never changes.
Right, exactly.
Like, wait a minute, this should be the greatest animal on earth. This is the echelon of evolution. This is the pinnacle of evolution. The tortoise. It's so slow and boring, and yet it's still living for some reason past the dinosaurs, and it was living with dinosaurs? Okay. And then, see, that proves evolution because it survived. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. It's a circle. It's just a circle of stupidity over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I want to add something to it. What was gonna say? Um, when evolutionists talk about that random mutations, that there's actually evidence that random mutations causes evolution. All right, the funny thing about it is that when it shows papers of random mutations, it seems that those random mutations are induced when they're actually needed. You know what I mean?
What, did you say they're induced during like procreation or something, or what?
No, they're induced when the what is it, a population of species, they're under stress.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, if they believe in random mutations, then that will suggest that the random mutations, they're not affected by anything, right? Because if it's affected by something, and it's guided by something, then it's clearly not random, correct?
Yeah, you can't be guided to be random.
Yeah, it can be guided. It has to be completely independent from anything, including the environment. Now, here's the funny thing. You know how evolutionists talk about E. coli supporting evolution because they developed the new ability to metabolize citrate. All right, here's the interesting thing. E. coli, they have actually stayed the same for over 30,000 generations. And the interesting about it is that when those E. coli species were put on under stress level of citrate, right? They couldn't live because they couldn't metabolize the citrate. But then after a few days, one of the individuals in the population, they developed the ability to metabolize citrate, and that's only a few days. So so you're telling me, so it's basically like, how can a random mutation that cannot give a new metabolism occur for 30,000 generations, but all of a sudden happen in a few days after they be put in a stress environment? I mean, to me, that's clearly not a random mutation. That's clearly some kind of a mutation that is directed.
Well, it definitely, yeah, you're definitely. You see, either way, they're going to say it helps them. What this is, they're going to say, oh, it's an environmental pressure.
Right. It's selection pressure.
Right.
But that selection pressure doesn't explain how the random mutation was able to give a new metabolism in a very short and significant amount of time. Because clearly a random
Right.
mutation, it will take like a lot of, many years, generations.
Right, but here's my question: where's the evolution?
Right, exactly. But then again, when it comes to evolution, I see it as evidence against Neo-Darwinian evolution, because Neo-Darwinists, they want us to believe that everything came from random mutations and natural selection. But the way
Right.
I see it, I see it as evolution, but I see it as evolution in an intelligent design perspective.
Well, I mean, you can call it adaptation, which is what we do while we're alive. I can get darker skin and be able to maybe, get a tan. I could adapt in certain ways. I mean, that's what we do, right? We adapt
Yeah.
while we're alive. I mean, I guess I can find a different type of human being. I mean, if I married a girl that was 9 feet tall, maybe I can get some really tall kids and they can play sports and make me some money. Is that evolution? I mean, No,
Mhm.
that's normal reproduction,
Right. Well,
and there's no evolution. That's still normal reproduction, even if it's change. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm not identical to my parents. I'm still human.
right, exactly. And
Okay.
yeah, you're definitely right. It's adaptation. It's not macroevolution. It's still
No,
under,
no, no.
it's still equali, because
Microevolution is a false term. The term microevolution is a false term. You can use it, but it doesn't have anything to do with the idea of biological evolution. You're just stating the word evolution to help the other term of evolution.
right, exactly. And since the definition of evolution has been hijacked, people get really confused on what the definition really means. Because there's so many different definitions. It's
Oh yeah, yeah.
hard to pinpoint what they're actually believing, or
Oh no, no, you could ask them. They will not tell you. You could ask any of these people what their idea of evolution is, and they will not tell you. They won't tell you. Try to get one to tell you what they're thinking about. Try to get any of you evolutionists out there lying to us. Try to answer this question. What do you think evidence for evolution would be? You can't answer it. And then you can ask them, okay, what do you think evolution is? And then they'll either say something like, oh, the allele frequencies, and they'll just keep saying that they'll use normal reproduction, cats making cats every time. If they're going to give you an answer, they'll say cats making cats, or they won't give you an answer and they'll say, no, you need to tell me what you think first, because I know how it works. And I need to know what you think first, so then of course I can know what you're thinking, and then I can tell you you're wrong.
yeah.
They're so stupid.
And then
So stupid.
when it shows evidence for speciation, they just show us a different population of a species in a different geographical site.
Oh yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah,
I'm like,
because yeah,
yeah,
lizards.
because I'm like, I remember one time I was talking to an evolutionist. He showed me, he gave me a link about speciation on the lizard. So when he gave me that link and I was reading it, it turns out that it was still a lizard.
Right, I know lizards make lizards. That's how we got here.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly usual every single time with these people. It's insanity.
Yeah,
I mean, how far do you think the crocodile is going to go? How far do you think this? Salt water and fresh water. Oh my goodness, that's evolution. Saltwater to that just means right there. That proves how we came from bacteria because the saltwater crocodile could convert to fresh water. Oh, okay. Oh boy, yeah.
it's just stupid, basically.
And here's the problem, though. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen over time. That has to happen in one generation. Either that crocodile is going to make it, or it's not.
Right, exactly.
If it's not able to live in fresh water or salt water, how is it going to make baby crocodiles that can live in fresh or salt water? It's not complicated. If it dies, I don't think there's going to be much of a gene pool anymore. If it lives, it already had the ability to live, stupid. It's alive, isn't it? Yes, it's alive. Great. And guess what? Did it morph into a non-crocodile? Stupid. That's how stupid these people are, bro. Every way. You can just keep talking about this. See, I told you, it's impossible to get away from the subject.
Right,
You just keep
exactly.
talking about this shit, and you're going to go down over and over. Every single thing about it is pseudoscience. Everything is made up, happenstance, fairy tale, magical mystery, wonderland, pseudo world, fakery. That's all it is, dude. That's all they ever do. All they ever do is bullshit themselves so they can bullshit you. So they can go, look how smart I am. I'm so
Right,
special.
exactly.
Look at me. Oh my gosh, idiots.
Yeah, exactly. What I was gonna say. What are your thoughts on, how evolutionists say that it takes many millions of years for it to happen? You heard it. You heard of that.
Sure.
You heard of
Oh
that, right?
yeah. Oh,
All
of
right.
course, absolutely.
Here's what's funny about it. How evolutionists say that it takes millions of years. Well, it's interesting because the Darwin's finches, they actually already developed different finches in an island in less than 10 years, and before they even develop it, there weren't any of those Darwin finches.
Right.
So right, right. So
Right.
I was thinking if those Darwin finches can evolve in less than 10 years, then why the hell did they stay the same for the rest of the timeline?
Right, and that's why I use dogs so many times, because just look at how man has bred dogs in the last 500 years. I think we've had what, hundreds of new breeds of dogs.
Right.
And guess what? Oh man, look, all these dogs are still dogs.
Right.
Wow. Wow, and look, in fact, the farther you get away from the gene pool, the less it's likely to survive in the wild. The only reason so many of these new dogs can survive is because they're taken care of by humans. Some
Right.
Chihuahuas have to be carried in a purse by a blonde lady.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
so what is going on here? Like, and guess what? It's still a dog. And put that Chihuahua back out in the wild and see how long it's going to last. Or even, I mean, put a Shih Tzu in the wild. That's a smart dog. It's not going to make it. I'm sorry. Like, it's going to, some of them will, some breeds of dogs will, but some of them won't make it. You know what I mean? And by the way, that's rapid change, actually. We're seeing genetic variation happening very, very rapidly, and proving it still stays 100% dog.
Right. You know that what you just
so
said right there? You know what you just said right there, rapid? That's a perfect term that describes real evolution perfectly. Because really, to be honest, all the evolution that these evolutions we're talking about, it all happens very rapidly in a very short amount of time.
Right, one generation.
Right,
One
exactly.
generation.
And I'm like, how the hell can random mutations do that if they're completely independent from everything, and they just keep on doing errors, you know, over the generations until it actually gets it. Well, it's still gonna do errors even though it gets it, you know. But I'm like, how can a random mutation pick a right card out of a million different possible cards in a very short amount of time? That makes absolutely no sense. And the way I see it is that it's not a random mutation. The mutation is actually directed by an intelligent force.
Well, yeah, but see, the DNA is already designed to try to repair to maintain the life.
Right.
It's going to try to fix. It's going to try to stay alive. Oh, it has a problem. Well, you know, you can have a major problem, and you can just look at the human genome here. With Down syndrome, you actually get an additional chromosome, and it causes a massive problem. A massive problem. It'd be like if somebody fabricated an engine. I'm trying to build this Dodge truck here, and then all of a sudden someone's making an engine on top of my engine. Like, wait a minute, this is messed up. It's not even going to work at all.
Right, exactly. That's called what is it, polyploid? Yeah, I heard some evolution talking about that. You know, adding an extra chromosome will actually make a result into a new species. But I'm like,
Right.
But I'm like, there's people, you know, humans with Down syndrome, and they're still humans.
Exactly, right. And how about the guy that, see, that's Down syndrome is when they get the extra chromosome. I think it's, I forget the number. I'm a little tired right now. I'm actually walking kind of in I got a lot of desert area around here. Then there's another situation where we lose chromosomes. And they actually do this. You can see this in humans and in horses, you know, like you can have like a horse breed can have like sometimes close to only half the amount of chromosomes. I mean, you're talking a 50% loss in the genetic abundance. You know what I mean? And it still stays a horse. It still stays a horse. I can still get on it and kick it, and we're going to go down the track. I mean, it might not do very well, or it might do well, or, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll use it for pulling, and it could be a mule. You know, is donkeys, mules, zebras, horses, Clydesdales, whatever. They're all the horse family. And look, you can have a completely different number of chromosomes, and because they're still from the original horse set of information in the genome, it still can't change into anything else. So you're going to tell me if a monkey loses 2 chromosomes, it turns into a human? Retard. You are a retard. No, the monkey does that. The monkey's not going to live very long. It's going to be tiger bait, actually.
Right, exactly.
The monkey's just going to die. No, let me tell you one more thing. Hold on. This is how bad this gets for these idiots. Then you got to tell me that monkey that lost 2 chromosomes is going to find another monkey with 2 less chromosomes now to make new types of monkeys, bro. Oh boy, that's not really like playing the lottery, is it? I mean,
yeah,
I actually
wanted, you know, like
holy moly.
You know, like I actually wanted that too. You know, like how evolution says that we humans came from. Well, it's not exactly monkeys, because I know it's not. We didn't. We evolution doesn't say that we came from monkeys, but we came from a common ancestor. Okay, so I'm like, if we humans came from a common ancestor, then who did that first human married?
Right. Like, yeah, exactly. That's a big problem. I mean, think of the odds. First of all, let's think of the odds that you had this genetic problem in the wild and you survived, and now you got to find somebody else who survived? Wait a minute. That's like winning the lottery 7 days a week. You've got to be kidding me.
Right, exactly.
You've got to be. And I just had another idea, and it was going to be cool, and I forgot what it was. I'm trying to think real quick. What were we on? We're on the genetics. Okay. Oh, yeah, chromosome fusion. So we got the chromosome fusion. Here's what they'll often say, ICE. You always hear that, evolution doesn't take place by individuals. It takes place in a population. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, my gosh. Right. So how's this?
Going to natural selection, since natural selection takes place at the population level.
No, but that's not true either. Natural selection takes place the moment that zebra gets taken down. That's natural selection. See, that's why they're wrong about everything. Natural selection is survival of the fittest. That was the original meaning. When that lion gets one hook, one claw in your ass, you're going down. Took one claw to bring down, a 700-pound zebra or whatever they weigh, and that's it. That has now been selected out of the gene pool, ICE. That's natural selection. It's done. No more of that dude making any more zebra babies. Okay? That's it. That's natural selection. Natural selection does nothing but remove, technically, if you want to say the weakest of the horses.
I wouldn't necessarily say the weakest, but I would say necessary that is weak in terms of reproduction.
Well, here's the deal, though. If you're not living anymore, you've been selected, though. Like, you can't produce at all. You've been selected. Right, you've been selected. So that's a selected. You've been selected. It means like a delete. Natural selection is a deletion. And it means you've been selected to be taken out. That does not tell me how things got here. It has absolutely nothing to do with genetic information or the genome adding new information to it or something like that. All it has to do with is that now this has been selected to not be here anymore. And that's why they use it. It has nothing to do with evolution. You have to use a completely different train of thought to get help. Here's my point about this. Here's what I want to say about the population, but don't forget to remind me. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
I was going to say I wouldn't necessarily say that natural selection is a purely destructive force. I do see it as a preservation force. When it comes to reproductively fit species.
Well, I didn't say it was destructive though.
Oh, okay then. I thought you thought natural selection was pretty destructive.
All it can do is remove. I didn't say destroy. All it can do is remove this particular horse or whatever. Okay. Now this is gone. Now he is not going to have any more offspring. Here's my point: is that more than likely the lion is going to get, more than likely, not always, it's going to get a slower zebra. It's not going to get the fastest zebra. Okay, most of the time. That's most of the time. I'm not saying all the time, but that is the general accepted idea of that scientific paradigm. It's not a founded science. There's not a book here, Eyes, where I can say, see, this is natural selection. You got 10,000 different idiots right now in a college room that have 10,000 different ideas about natural selection. The fact of the matter is that when you're selected in natural selection, that's not a good thing. You've been selected. That means you're out of the gene pool, which is not going to do anything except to ensure that healthy, this is why I didn't say it was destructive, now these healthy zebras, because you know why they're healthy, Ice?
Because they have the right requirements to live there?
Nope, it's so simple. Because they're still alive. Yeah, right. They're still alive. This is it. This is all you get to select from. So you get healthy zebras now to select from because you only have living zebras to select from. So natural selection does nothing except ensure that kitties make kitties and zebras make zebras. It ensures that they all. It's basically almost like it's a kind of a quality control if need be, but not necessarily. That's why it's called natural selection.
Yeah.
But again, zero evolution. Here's my point about that. When they're telling you, well, it happens over time in a population. Well, wait a minute, that's not true, because this chromosome fusion, all chromosome fusions and all mutations happen in one generation.
Exactly.
Stupid.
That's a problem with that random mutation nonsense. Because come on, you think that's a coincidence that random mutation can create something new in a very short amount of time? Of course not. Especially if we have a million different possibilities. You know what I mean?
Right. So if I get a chromosome fusion, which normal humans have 46 chromosomes, and let's say a human is born with 44, which is how they think monkeys turn to humans. Well, guess what? That happened in one generation, and now it has to find somebody to marry. And the third part is that without men and modern technology, these people wouldn't even survive at all. And I'm sorry, that also proves that if you lose information, you still stay exact genus or family. So again, zero evolution. This just proves you can cut this, and you can slice this, and you can paint it any which way you can, and it disproves evolution every time.
Right. The thing is, you could think of natural selection as an editor rather than a maker. Because that's what it really does. It just edits things in the gene population.
Yes, but as it's right. But as it's editing, all it's doing is helping more of the same survive.
Yeah. Well, actually, what it does is makes the genes in each population either more or less common. That's what all it does. It only acts on a pre-existing level.
Well, yeah, I like to consider it a quality control.
Right.
That's just like. Just like when the factory, the factory, there's a quality control system in the factory. So if I have a quality control system in the factory of Dodge trucks, how many mistakes have to be caught by the quality control system for the Dodge truck factory to make now a stealth bomber?
Right.
It's not going to happen. Sorry. That's not how it works. Quality control is going to make sure that it only continues to make the Dodge trucks. Some are going to be black. Some are red, some are white, some are silver, some are graphite, some are two-wheel drive, some are four-wheel drive. Some have 4 doors, some have 2 doors, some have shift on the fly 4-wheel drive, some have electronic slip on the fly. There's a lot of options here. They're only Dodge trucks. It's not going to make a stealth bomber.
Right.
It's just real simple. It's that simple. That's it.
Exactly. Natural selection, it only edits things in the pre-existing level, but it never creates anything new. If you want to create something new, then you need a mutation.
Right, and then you have to hope it creates something new, which has never happened.
Right, exactly. What I was gonna say, when it comes to the survival in natural selection, do you think that involves better genes, or do you think it has what do you think it involves?
Doesn't really evolve anything. It just ensures that the only things that survive are going to be the types. Mm-hmm. Or sorts or species of that particular family or kind or genus or phylum that are going to continue to survive, whether it's these types of horses here or these types of horses there. In America, you have these horses, and in Africa, you have zebras. Right. And those zebras are actually very concentrated, and then they have a specific type of gene pool that, it's either going to make zebras or it's not. And then in America, you have these horses where they have different colors.
Right.
Just like you have some areas of different colored birds and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Right. Because the species that survive from natural selection, those are the ones that are capable of reproducing more. Because those are the ones.
Hold on. Listen to what you just said. Listen to what you said. The ones that survive are the ones that are going to be able to produce more. No, the ones that survive are the ones that are the only ones that are going to be able to produce anything. So that's just it. The healthiest are just the ones that are surviving.
Right.
It's natural selection.
Yeah, they survive and then they reproduce.
Right. So that ensures that it stays horses. That's it. The zebras are going to make zebras.
And from that reproduction, it's just going to transfer the same genetic material to the next generation.
Right. Guaranteeing, again, they're going to stay horses. Because if you have a mutation...
Right, exactly. It's not going to do anything new.
I mean, if you have a mutation and that zebra even looks different, sometimes, in the animal kingdom can be very brutal. and sometimes they don't even like when they're, they're not always loving creatures out there. Like the lions eat their own cubs, different mother or different father. So there's some interesting things right there. I mean, what type of natural selection is that?
Yep.
When you got cannibalism, it's cannibalism in the big cat kingdom.
Right.
So that's just right there shows you that that's ensuring that he doesn't want this guy's cats. He wants to make his cats. Well, guaranteed, I guess his cats are the ones that are going to be. So.
Right. What I was gonna say, what do you think of when evolutionists talk about transitional fossils?
Yeah, they're just making things up as usual. I've never ever. They're talking about pseudo creatures from Star Wars that aren't real. They're talking about, oh, this is a bear dog. I heard this jackass the other day talking about this bear dog. I'm like, well, then how come the bear has its own gene pool and the dog has its own gene pool? That's it. That's all we have in reality. Where it's not Star Trek here. Why do we only see two separate complete phylums or genuses? It's never. What is this? You're talking about a fictitious creature. And by the way, you're telling me tortoises and turtles existed longer ago, and we still have them the exact same way now.
Right.
And then I'll ask him which one came first, the tortoise or the turtle. Yeah, exactly. You have no idea. You're stupid. They're separate families as well. Tortoises can't make turtles. If it's not aquatic, it's not aquatic. And a snapping turtle can't make a box turtle. A box turtle can't make a leatherback, let alone a tortoise. I'm not even talking about a tortoise. And they're identical genome, almost identical strand of chromosomes. And they're not even kind of compatible. Just like a pigeon. How can a pigeon? Wait, can a pigeon make a pelican? Pigeon can't make a pelican. Pelican can't make a penguin. There's nothing you can do about it. And neither one of them can make an eagle. Neither one of them can make a falcon. I can't get a falcon from an eagle. You got a lot of problems here. It's all it is problems for these people. I'm telling you.
Right. Exactly. My problem, when evolutionists talk about transitional fossils, is that how they say that, evolution occurred over so many changes over millions of years. Well, I'm like, where are all those changes in the fossil record? And they're like, oh,
right,
I don't know. Yeah, they're like, oh, I don't know.
Right, we'll just believe in them.
So I'm
believe in them.
Yeah, so I'm like, you believe that evolution occurs through so many changes over millions of years, and yet you can show me an evidence of those natural evolutionary changes?
No, there's no evidence. There is zero evidence. We have fish in the fossil record. What does that tell you? That means the fish died and got buried. That doesn't mean the fish turned to non-fish. That's how stupid they are. They're looking at a fossil record. They'll find an animal. You're gonna find a giant hyena or a possum and say, look how similar this is to a dog. Therefore, this non-dog turned into a dog. You find a dinosaur in the ground. You find a dinosaur in the ground. Oh man, look at this dinosaur we found. Wow, look, it has 2 legs. Oh, that must mean it turned into a bird, because a lot of birds only have 2 legs. Right. That is how stupid these people are. That is exactly. No, it's Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is so stupid. He's got to be the most ignorant guy I've ever heard in my life. This jackass the other day said that pterosaurs are reptiles and birds without being either one. What? Like, what is wrong with these people? They're absolutely psychotic idiots. And then you're talking about, okay, wait, listen to this. You're telling me this, you're telling me this velociraptor turned into a bird, but this pterosaur, this pterodactyl didn't? It's already flying. Couldn't we at least, shouldn't we be starting there? Because the pterodactyl, you could actually kind of paint feathers on it and fool a lot of people. No, you're telling me the 2-legged one walking around that acts like a 2-legged tiger, or actually what they call them. Some of the names for these things were like crocodile leopard. You're going to tell me the one that's flying didn't turn into the bird, the one that's on the ground turned into the bird? gosh, dude.
Right. And the other thing I want to add, you know how they say that, you know what's it called, the tail, like, you know how it has legs, and supposedly they say that it's a connection to the what they call amphibians.
Yeah, salamanders have legs, yes, and Tiktaalik is probably just a large salamander.
Yeah.
Big deal.
And,
So
and
stupid.
yeah, and here's my thing. You know how they say that the tail is a connection from the fish to the amphibians, right? Well,
Oh, sure, huh?
yeah, here's my thing. I'm like, how do you really know that? I mean, what if that Tiktaalik was just a salamander, like you said, without having even been a fish, like what if it was one of those extinct 99% species? You know what I mean?
Right. You just have to imagine it. I mean, you just have to accept that this salamander proves that it came from a fish.
But
What?
it doesn't, because
Of course it doesn't.
there's a chance that it could be just an extinct species that has nothing to do with having to do with a fish.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that it's just a salamander anyway. It doesn't matter if it has 5 fingers or 6 fingers. You know, some cats are polydactyl. Some kitties have 6 toes.
Right, exactly. They
Right.
the problem is that they just keep on looking for patterns. They try to look for anything that fits with their evolutionary paradigm. But the thing is,
Absolutely right.
looking for patterns, is deceptive, because you could look at a pattern that seems to give out correlation, when in reality there's not even a correlation in there. It's called what is it called, data dredging. And you know how humans, when it comes to patterns, it can easily be they can easily be deceived.
Absolutely, yep.
Right.
Insane, man.
Because
Absolutely, yeah.
they can just be coincidences.
Yeah,
And then,
that's what's so crazy. Everything they believe in is a coincidence. That's everything their entire lives are based on their idea that coincidences are everything. Virgin coincidences.
right. But when it comes to similarities in genetics, they don't think it's a coincidence, because they think it must have been inherited by a common ancestor. But the funny thing about it is that there are similarities that have nothing to do with common ancestry at all.
That's right, brother. Absolutely. I know. It's just, hey, we're obviously gonna be talking about this again soon, bro.
Just imagine how mad the wishes will get.
Oh, trust me, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something soon. You know, this is just us warming up anyway. Plus, I like doing it on the fly and being under fire and actually getting some feedback, because they got nothing, and it's just gonna be funny to watch them crumble because they don't have anything. So,
Right.
but yeah, bro, man, good conversation. I really plan to be on here that long, but it was good talking to you, man. I'll hit you up tomorrow, but I gotta get going, and I gotta get some things taken care of. So I'm a little bit behind, bro. But thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, I gotta get going too. I gotta give me something to eat before I go to bed. But
Yeah.
it was really cool talking to you. It was a good time talking about
Yeah, bro.
evolution, creation. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
could talk some other day. Maybe we could invite
Oh, yeah.
some evolutionists, get them
Oh, yeah.
and on the nerves.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're gonna figure out this week, and Thursday, we'll do something Thursday, obviously.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, thanks, bro. All right, Ice. I'll see you later, man.
All right, then, MG. It was good talking to you.
Thanks, bro. Later.
All right.